So let's talk about a self-made billionaire. But this isn't your typical story of building an empire. We're talking about Vikram Kromadit, a man who built an industrial giant from absolutely nothing. But honestly, the most amazing part of his story isn't how he made all that money. It's what he decided to do with it afterwards.
And this number right here, this is the key to the whole thing, 95%. That is the percentage of his own personal fortune that Vikram Kromadit has pledged to just give away. I mean, think about that. Not 10%, not even 50, 95%. It's wild.
And to be clear, we are not talking about pocket change here. That's 95% of his 20 billion baht fortune. To put that in perspective for you, that's over $500 million US, an incredible amount of money. And almost all of it isn't going to his family. It's going back to society, which of course brings up the biggest question of all, why?
Well, this quote pretty much gets to the heart of it. This is his core philosophy. We are born from zero and journey back to zero. For him, you come into this world with nothing, and you're going to leave with nothing. So life isn't about how much you can stack up for yourself, it's about what you actually create and contribute in the time you have.
So what did he build in that space between the two zeros? That's where the story gets really, really good. It's a journey of incredible resilience, some brilliant strategy, and believe it or not, it all kicks off with a major betrayal.
Yeah, Vikram's career didn't start with some lucky break. It started with him getting stabbed in the back. His first big venture was exporting Thai tuna to the United States. He was the essential middleman, you know? The guy connecting the local producers with the huge American market.
And then came the moment that changed absolutely everything. After Vikram showed his American business partner the entire operation, the factories, the contacts, all of it, the partner went right behind his back, straight to the Thai company, and cut him out of the deal. Just like that. His business was gone. He was left with absolutely nothing.
But instead of just giving up, and I think a lot of people would have, he made an absolutely brilliant pivot. He realized that while everyone was fighting over the market for human-grade tuna, there was this other, totally overlooked market just sitting there. He started looking at what wasn't being sold.
And the genius of his move is all right here. The market for people, it was super competitive. Everyone was fighting over the same low-profit white meat. But the pet food market, it was a wide-open field. Vikram discovered that the red tuna meat, the stuff that was often just discarded, was perfect for cat food. He had literally found a high-demand gold mine that everyone else was ignoring, and he went all in.
And the result? Oh, he didn't just recover. He absolutely thrived. Selling tuna for cats made him a fortune, 35 million baht, which was about $1 million US at the time. All of a sudden, he was debt-free, flush with cash, and ready to tackle his next project, which was going to be way, way more ambitious.
With that seed money from the cat food business, Vikram didn't just want to build another company. He wanted to build an entire city, an industrial city. He named it Amata, a word that means immortal or eternal. You can tell right from the name, this was never a short-term plan. And this just shows you what a long-term thinker he was. He didn't just go out and buy a cheap plot of land. No, he did his homework. He obsessively researched national development plans and natural disaster risks. He chose a spot in Chonburi that was strategically perfect, close to major ports and airports, but also naturally safe from floods, earthquakes, typhoons, and even potential tsunamis. He thought of literally everything.
His sales pitch was a complete game changer. He basically went to these massive global companies and said, listen, you focus on making your product inside your factory. I will handle everything that happens outside the fence. He built better roads, he guaranteed cheaper and more reliable power and water than the state could, and he took care of all the bureaucracy. It was an offer they just couldn't refuse.
And the growth was just explosive. It all started in 1988 with just 300 rai of land, which, by the way, is a Thai unit of measurement, about 2/5 of an acre. But from that small start, it has ballooned into a regional empire. Today, Amata controls over 300,000 rai all across Southeast Asia. It's one of the biggest industrial developers in the entire region.
But as his empire grew, Vikram's thinking started to shift. It went beyond just business success. He began to focus on his ultimate purpose, and on the kind of legacy he really wanted to leave behind.
Which brings us to this pretty controversial belief he holds about family and money. He's famous for saying this: dividing an inheritance among family is like giving them poison. He truly believes that inherited wealth creates conflict and entitlement, and that it just ends up destroying family bonds.
So instead of just handing his relatives a pile of cash, he gave them a challenge. He set up a family business, what's called a gongsi, but here's the catch. He gave them zero capital to start, nothing. He only acted as their mentor, forcing them to learn how to build wealth all by themselves. And you know what? Today, that business they built from scratch is worth over 1 billion baht. It's something they earned, not something they were given. And that brings us right back to this chart. Because his family was taught to be self-reliant, he felt free to commit that huge 95% chunk of his fortune to the Amata Foundation, where it'll be used for the public good. That little 5% slice left over, he says that's more than enough for him and his family to live on.
And to ensure Amata's immortal future, he took a page right out of the playbook of companies like Honda. He made a strict rule. No one with his last name, Kromadit, can ever run the company. He wants the leadership to be earned based on merit alone. The best people get the job, not just someone from the right family.
This was his guiding principle, something he learned from watching giants like Toyota. He valued steady, sustainable growth over those risky, debt-fueled expansions. For him, a company doesn't need to take huge leaps. It just needs to grow with stability and without a mountain of debt. That's how you build an empire that can weather any storm.
And so, at the end of it all, we're left with this final thought. Vikram's life really challenges our whole idea of what a legacy is. By teaching his family to succeed on their own and then dedicating his entire fortune to society, he poses this really powerful question. What kind of legacy is the one that truly lasts forever? The one you leave to your family or the one you give to the world?